Hey everybody, it's Mr. Cinema Junkie here, and I want to talk about a movie that's been hot on everybody's minds, lips, watch lists, so on and so forth. And that is Hobo with a Shotgun. This movie is a collection of gratuitous violence. It draws very few boundaries. It goes up, over, and above any set ideas of what kind of gore and mayhem should be in a movie. I've never been so offended in my life. I don't know why I watched this movie, and I'm bullshitting. It was the greatest movie I'd seen in a long time. Didn't have any of the CGI and digital effects. It had good old-fashioned pump spray canisters full of good old-fashioned Caro syrup blood. You have beheadings, you have burnings, you have beatings, you have people being shot with a shotgun, of course. This is shot in pure grindhouse style. Something about it, though, captured that feel a little more than Machete did. Machete had its feel, believe me, but Hobo with a Shotgun kind of filled in those gaps, and it really took me back. It took me back to some old school movie watching. It had that feel of watching a straight to VHS type movie. For one thing, the colors were just so vivid. The Technicolor is so it wasn't like it was washed with color. Okay, just like the old '70s movies were. The reds were really red. Also, the credits and the music, the opening music was just genius. I mean, come on, it was just total genius. And I know I've heard that song before. It struck such a chord back here in the back of my head. The credits, back then for some reason the credits always look like you're walking in the end of the movie. They start talking about Panavision and giving credit to who did the color and had the seal of approval at the end, and it looked like you were walking in and, oh man, did I miss the movie? No, it's just starting. That's how the credits were back then. But what this movie had that really put it over the top, more so than the blood and the guts, the violence, the raw and unadulterated power, it had Rutger Hauer. He played the hobo. Rutger Hauer is one of those actors that I feel just didn't get enough credit. I'm sure he did a lot of work beforehand, but when I became a fan of Rutger Hauer, it was in the movie The Hitcher. Who was the star of that movie? You ask anybody else, it's C. Thomas Howell. I'm like, C. Thomas who? No, sir. Rutger Hauer was the star of that movie. He pulled that psychopath role off perfectly. Absolutely perfect. Then I saw him in other movies where it wasn't nothing wrong with him. It was just the role they gave him. Like Blind Fury was a good movie. He played a blind swordsman. Not a great movie, but he did really well with it. Then we've seen him more recently in movies like Batman Begins. He had a jerky role in that one. Didn't do too much there, but Hobo with a Shotgun, boy, that never before have I seen a role where someone got dirtied up to shine so brightly. He took that role. He owned that role. there was nothing I didn't like about this movie. There's absolutely nothing that I could say, sit back and go, man, if they would have only done this differently. I loved it all, from beginning to end. The even the risky business looking Tom Cruise kid with the sunglasses, one of the two brothers, not Slick, the other one. Even him, his brother, him and his brother, a couple of sociopaths. He kicks the shit out of the hobo wearing ice skates. I mean, they're ruthless. They're absolutely ruthless, and their father is like even more ruthless. He has this whole town under his thumb, and there are just like so many like really amusing parts to this movie. It's even hard to kind of lump them together. One that just stood out, one of the sight gags that I just thought was hilarious. I had to just take a breath from laughing so hard. But it was the newspaper that said, "Hobo stops begging, demands change." That was, I applaud whoever wrote that one. That was genius. It just had a really cool feel to it, It was just commenting back and forth on Gore Glorifier's page about 3D and the gimmicky 3D that people use now, and how everything's just too polished these days. It's too clean, too perfect. And ever since the release of Grindhouse with Planet Terror and Death Proof, and then all those trailers that came out in the middle, I'd like to see more of those trailers being made into movies. You had Machete, you had Hobo with a Shotgun was one of them, wasn't it? It was. But I'd like to see, like, definitely want to see Thanksgiving made into a movie. But man, that Hobo with a Shotgun, if you have not seen it, I know Amazon has it for as instant viewing, instant rental. It's $9.99. But I cannot wait for a Blu-ray release or a DVD release of this movie. Anything that enhances that look. I know that sounds weird, getting a modern day convenience like Blu-ray, modern day technology to make it look old. But it had that vintage 70s look and feel to it, the sound, the colors, the violence. It put me in the mind of movies like, these are from the 80s, of course, but movies like Vigilante, what else? Exterminator 2, the old Vigilante movies of yore, Death Wish. Those are just great movies. Those are classics, classic exploitation flicks. And Hobo with a Shotgun is going to go down, not as just an homage to these movies, but as its own entity, being an over-the-top, very well done, masterfully crafted exploitation film. Definitely keep an eye out for it. Watch it if you can. I want one of those posters. I see a lot of people with the Hobo poster, and man, they look sweet. I found them on Amazon. I'll probably grab one soon, I hope. They have the mini one and a bigger one. I like them both. They're really nice. But, yes. Quite frankly, I think that should be like a double feature. Machete and Hobo with a Shotgun. Badass. But, good to see Rutger Hauer back in the saddle, man. I hope he makes more movies like this. Awesome stuff. That's my review of Hobo with a Shotgun. I hope it was helpful. And please, if you've seen it already, comment below. If you haven't seen it and you like the review, do the same. Rate, if you would. And I appreciate you watching the video. Thanks.